Hi guys, I have a message from Creator. I haven't received a download like this in such a long time, but after I left that last message, I this just kind of flooded in. So I want to make sure I get it out to you guys in a timely manner because it's important for you guys to hear and receive this as we get into the next couple of months, and maybe hopefully not too long, but I do feel it's going to be 3 months, maybe 6 months. That is going to be more challenging. And if we could turn it around through hearing these type of messages coming together, then it should shorten the time. But at the very least, I know that we're going to be going into these times till the end of the year for sure. With the strike that's happening, if you don't know about the strike, please look into it. That will potentially bring, rise the inflation and raise prices again in everything. And also, the situations that are happening around the world with the hurricanes and the flooding. There's a lot of catastrophe happening. I don't want to spend too much time talking about what's happening, because if you're aware and you're paying attention, then you should know what's happening. So my intention for these messages, in case you're watching for the first time, is to bring awareness, but most importantly to help you guys navigate through these times. So when I receive messages, it's with the intention of giving you guys support and reminders of how important it is for us to keep our faith and connection to Creator. So I'm going to start by reading the message, and then I'll go review the list of things that will help you guys navigate through the times. So the message is: as we head into difficult times, you might find yourself feeling more anxious, fear, and at times even hate for situations or people. Do not get plagued by the virus of anger and fear. Don't waver away from your faith and God. Hate and anger only creates more violence and division. Do not give your power away. Find community who will hold each other through this with unity, prayer, love, and God. No matter how dark it gets, do not waver away from my church. There will be evil taunting and tempting you in hunger, hardships, and even death. Do not stare at it in the eye, for it will consume you. Instead, grow a new garden. Begin planting seeds of a new beginning until things settle, so that those who got affected can have a place of rest, rehabilitation, and rebirth. You're being asked to step up, begin planning for what's to come, and how to rebuild. Do not be afraid. I will guide you through it and provide the essential things to do this task. This is why community is important. The right people and resources needed will be within the community. Remember to stand strong and rooted in my armor. So I'm going to go over it just a little bit, because within these messages, there's deeper meaning, or it can get further dissected. And it's important that you hear and receive what this message is really telling us and why. So the part where it says, you will be tempted in, let me find it. It says, you will be taunted and tempted in hunger, hardships, and even death. Well, we see what's going on. Like I just said, the strike is going to potentially affect everything that we do, everything that we purchase, and that includes food. So a lot of people are going to be faced with hunger. People already are being faced with hunger. And a lot of people are facing death. And unfortunately, that will potentially affect some of our family members. We have to be prepared. And this is, again, not to bring fear into your hearts. It's to bring awareness and to know how to navigate through it, how to prepare, and to keep your heart pure. Because when we are faced with these type of situations, this is when we really find out how our faith is and how our relationship with God is, and do we trust God, and can we stay centered in our heart and continue to trust that this is, just it's unfortunately part of what we're experiencing, but most importantly that we will get through it. We will get through it, but it's important to know that we have to stay in community. So God's saying, even though the evil is taunting and tempting us, don't stare at it in the eye. And that means don't stay in that energy. Do not stay in always wanting to know about the destruction, constantly just staying in that energy, because it will devour you. So yes, be aware of what's happening, but then go back to doing your practice of doing the things that are going to heal your heart, that are going to help you navigate through the trauma of it, and that you are still praying and trusting in God and asking for guidance, even though there is all this horrible things happening. Otherwise, you will be consumed. So it's very, very important that you remember that. And then the Creator's asking us to grow a new garden, begin planting seeds of a new beginning until things settle, so that those who got affected can have a place of rest, rehabilitation, and rebirth. What does that mean? Well, that means continue to work on yourself, but also literally start building community, start building a garden, start planting your food, gather resources for yourself, but also for others. Because people that are barely coming into the awareness of what's happening are going to be, seeking. They're going to be seeking. They're going to be devastated. They're not going to know what to do because they weren't ready. So God is saying, I'm calling you right now. I'm calling you to be of service and to prepare to start growing that new garden, because there's so much distraction happening. We need to start rebuilding. And it's going to take a lot of our faith, a lot of our own healing to be able to guide others through it. And it's saying, this is why community is so important. The right people and resources needed will be within the community. Be very mindful of who you communicate and connect with. Have open conversations about, coming together and helping one another. However, I also have to say, don't be so open about your own situation. Like if you've been saving, if you've been preparing, be mindful of who you share that with, because people are going to be faced with, a lot of anger, a lot of desperation, a lot of fear, a lot of, forgetting to stay calm, and they didn't prepare. So unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people trying to take advantage of other people. So just be mindful, just you'll know who to share things with and who not to share things with. And so with that said, I am going to go over the list of resources and things that, Creator's asking me to remind you guys about. These are things that I've already talked about a few years ago, but I'm being told that there's going to be people that are watching this that have no clue, and this will be helpful to those people. But also it's a good reminder for all of us, because even some of those things I was like, oh, that's right. So when I get these messages, they're for me too. They're also for me to remember a lot of these things, but also, what is it that I need still that I haven't prepared? So it's a good way to always stay up to date, but also just really constantly be checking the list and making sure that everything's that we can do, because a lot of things we're not going to be able to do, but at the very least what we can do, the most that we can do, will be helpful. Okay, so the list is, save leftovers. And this means like when you go out to eat, even if you're in your own home and you've cooked a meal, A lot of people have gotten into the habit of either they throw away their food, they don't like leftovers, and Creator's saying it's not a time to be ungrateful, really is what it comes down to. It's very important that you keep your leftovers because you're gonna be happy that you did. And at the very least, if they're not for you, then you can share them with neighbors, you can share them with children, you can share it with community that probably are struggling more than you. And also what comes to mind is, like you say, if you go out to eat and they give you, packages of whatever it is, condiments, make sure that you save those. Don't throw those out. All these things are important things to be frugal about now and to not be wasteful, because we're needing to really just gather things, right? What comes to mind is it's a time for us to be like little raccoons, and as winter starts coming in, the bear goes into hibernation, all the animals start really preparing and gathering their harvest. That's what Creator's saying. It's time for you guys to really pay attention, look at your list. What do you guys have? What do you guys need? And it's more so the essential things. If you're in a position where you also get things that you want, fine, do that. But really be mindful that there's other people that can't even afford what they need, and maybe help those people out if you're in a position that you can. And then the other thing is start fasting. If you're not in the practice of fasting, it's a good time for you to start going into that again, because as we head into just, the next couple of months, 2-3 months, if this strike continues, unfortunately, food is going to skyrocket, and it's going to be scarce in the selection, but also really, really high in price. So fasting is going to be a practice that I feel a lot of people should learn to adapt. And at the very least, maybe learn to reduce the portions that you consume. So if you can't go too long without eating for medical reasons, and again, anything that I'm suggesting are just suggestions, always check with your medical doctors or person, that will give you, the right support and guidance for your specific medical needs. So this is more so for people that are healthy. But if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have food and you are going through a medical situation, then I suggest eating just smaller portions throughout the day, as opposed to eating a big portion and then you don't have nothing to eat for the rest of the day. So this is going to be, helpful during those times. Then the other thing is, if you're in a position that the rations are scarce and you are fasting more than you're not, make sure that you also invest in some supplements, some superfoods. These are things that at least you're getting some of the nutrients in, and if you're not able to eat the way you used to, that your body is not going to shut down, that you're not going to get ill. So supplements and the superfoods come in different forms. I guess powder is ideal. There's like the reds and there's the greens. And you can go to your local nutrition store, maybe do some research, look online, and see what resonates with you. And those are things that you can make in a shake. You can put in say if you start juicing. Juicing is also another good way to get some nutrients in and to make your food last a little bit longer. So yeah, it just depends on the size of your family, what your health condition is. Try to see what some of these things that you can adapt into your lifestyle and that will be helpful to your specific needs. And then eat of the season. What does that mean? So what that means is, usually you want to eat with what is growing in the season. And the reason why is a couple of things. Usually there's more there's more abundance of that specific food. So there's going to be more of it, and it means the price is not going to be as high. You're going to be able to find that a little bit more, it'll be more available to you. And the second reason is when we eat with the seasons, what we're doing is we're following the rhythm of Mother Earth, of God. And usually that's what our body needs in that time. And so that means we're going to get the most nutrients into our body, which will help our health. So those are the reasons why you want to eat with the seasons. That also, in the realm of talking about food, when you go to a grocery store, look to see what's on sale, right? What's on sale. And you're going to probably need to adjust the way you eat. So instead of, eating a lot of like one thing, look to see what's on sale, and you might just have to adjust and change your eating habits. The point is going to be for you to eat. Okay, very important that you remember this. Also, you don't have to go for the same name brands there's a bee flying around right here, so I'm a little distracted. It's been following me around, actually, around the garden, so I know I'm just being blessed with the bee. So what was I saying? Yes, so don't get caught up with the name brands. I don't want to be stung, but I also don't mind the bee around me, so I just have to be kind of careful here. Don't get caught up with the name brands. There's always things that are more affordable, and so just again go with what's more affordable. For some reason it wants to land on me. Okay, so let me move. I apologize, but I don't want to be stung. And it just kind of source what your options are, and go with what is more available and what is on sale. Okay, let's see. Go also into the smaller stores, like the 99-cent stores, the mom and pop shops. Try to stay away from the big retail stores like Costco, Sam's Club, that sort of stuff, even Walmart. More than likely, people are going to go straight to those, and it's going to be a frenzy, and you just don't want to deal with all that. If you go into like the smaller stores, then you're going to get a better chance to get stuff. You might have to pay a little bit more. I don't know, depends, because honestly right now things are starting to go up everywhere. But see what feels right to you and then do that. Let's see. Fuel, make sure that your gas is always, topped off for in the event that you have to go anywhere, like drive anywhere. But also, because as the gas increases, you don't want to be in a position where now you have to fill up your tank and you have to pay an extra, just a large, like a very expensive, amount to fill up your tank. I recommend, if you guys don't already have a bicycle, to invest in a bicycle. If you have to go to like local places, then do that. Maybe even start walking. Get a scooter. These sort of things will be very helpful in these times. And I know it takes money to get some of these things, but remember, use your resources like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. What else? Just have events. I talked about this before. Have events, or go to your local church. They do also still have resources where, like, once a week, if you go on a certain day, they're helping people with food. So make sure you guys are aware of where they're still doing all this, and go and get it. Go get it as much as you can, as long as it's available. Let's see. I think that covers everything. Let me make sure. I'm trying to go through everything as fast as possible, but I also don't want to skip anything. Oh, yes. Okay, so pet food. If you guys have pets, make sure that you guys get food for them too. I hear, like I was hearing intuitively, at least 2 months worth. So make sure that you have plenty of food for your pets also. Yeah, God gave us plenty of time to prepare. He's been giving us this for several months now. I mean, not months, years. If you've been following me since the beginning of all this, you know that I've said this since the beginning of time, of when all this started. And God, I know now that the reason why he gave it so early is because he wanted us to have enough time to prepare and gather and just do all the things while we're here. Stay away from large populated areas. Yeah, if you don't need to go somewhere, don't go somewhere. Not right now. Not at least until the election is over, because there's potentially going to be a lot of things happening. And yeah, just stay safe. Stay in your prayer. You know that has been my thing. Stay in your prayer, because I know in my heart that we can turn things around. And the more of us that are aware and that are coming together and helping each other and praying together, a lot of this darkness is going to continue to be exposed, but also most importantly to be dismantled. So do it with that intention in mind. When you're praying, ask Creator, just dismantle it. Don't let this get any further. Expose the people. I don't know if, as I said in the last video, this whole situation with the music industry, how much is it a distraction and how much is it that some of them are getting exposed and taken down? I don't know, because if you recall, there's a list that everybody's been waiting on, that is connected to an island. That never happened. So I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but I also want to just be prepared, be realistic as to this could all be just a thing to keep people distracted, and it can also be hopefully coming to light. So let's keep our prayers that everything is finally coming to light. But with that comes, if it is coming to light, with that comes that they're going to get even more desperate, and desperate times call for desperate moves. So let's keep that in mind. I love you guys. Thank you for staying to the end. Please share my videos, and I will just continue to bring what I can whenever it comes through. Till next time. Talaso Kamati.